One of the questions that gets on my nerves the most is that, Corey, you choose the interviews you want in the final video. Which is bullshit, because it says at the beginning of every fucking video.
Okay, all right, Captain.
Hey guys, this is Corey from the Ask Project. This video is to help set the record straight on what this is all about. Purpose of this video is to talk about what people put in the comments. I don't actually read the comments. The reason is that people on the internet, it's like monkeys throwing poop. I want to hear constructive criticism. I want to hear people asking questions. I want to hear, you could say good job. I don't care. It could even be bad job. I don't like this. So people will tell me about the comments. And the purpose of this video is to clear up misconceptions, ideas that are not correct, misinformation that's going around. You guys can use this because there'll be timestamps for each of these questions down below. So you could send someone with the timestamp if you feel somebody is misunderstanding what this project is all about. Because as usual on the internet, everybody is just deciding based on emotions what this is all about. People, pay attention to the first 3 seconds of every single video I have ever posted. It says there that all content is included in the videos. Every single thing that I film goes into a video. Even if somebody went on a tangent about a completely different question than what I asked, I will create a whole other video for that. Everything I've ever filmed goes into the videos. And all content is unedited for content. I edit out maybe the ums and the ahs before someone saying their name, because maybe after they don't want to give their real name. That is it. Everything that they said is there. I go out of my way to try to make everyone as equal as possible. I am trying to ask the most seemingly educated people, seemingly smart people on both sides, because I get this claim from both pro-Israel people and from pro-Palestine people. So I just try to choose people who are just random, who seem like average people on either side. I almost always have somebody come with me to film. They could be pro-Israel, they could be pro-Palestine, or they can be completely neutral. They often decide on who I'm gonna ask. I often hand them the questions and I say, you choose someone and you choose the question that it's gonna be. So it's as random as possible. I do not make up the questions. I get the questions from viewers like you. God, everyone makes so much noise in this country. I do not make up the questions. People send me the questions through Gmail, through Facebook, through Instagram. You, the viewers, send me the questions, or people who come to film with me are allowed to ask a question as well. I often will tweak the question just to make sure that the Israelis or Palestinians that I'm asking can understand the question. So I turn it into, use the language that they're most likely to understand. I do not choose the questions, it's up to you. Now, if you were smart, all you have to do is say, I'm gonna send Corey a gotcha question, because that's actually what most people do. And if you're, let's say, because the claim is often that I'm asking Palestinians harder questions than Jews, give me some great questions, gotcha questions for the Jews, I will ask them. In addition, people who are on my Patreon who give more than $25 a month that help me be able to travel to these places, they get extra videos of behind the scenes. So if you become a patron of $25 or more, I will send you a monthly video showing behind the scenes exactly what is going on, how we're choosing people, both in the West Bank and in Israel. The questions come from all over the world. They're actually generally not Israelis or Palestinians. Sometimes they are. They come from all over the world. They can come from the United States, from Europe, from Africa, from the Muslim world. I tend to prioritize the Muslim and Arab world a little bit. So I am much more thinking about what do people in the Muslim and Arab world want to know. So I will choose their questions a little more often than somebody who comes from the US or Western Europe. Because I want the Muslim and Arab world to understand who Israelis and Palestinians are as much as possible. That is the purpose of the channel. When I am arguing back, it is actually to just get more information. I want to know how deep someone's conviction is, how deep that belief is. Because sometimes you see they back down and they go, they're willing to have peace if blah, blah, blah happens. I want to know how deep that belief is. It has nothing to do with my personal beliefs. I am thinking what you, the viewers, would most likely want to know. So that, if anything, if I'm going to come up with a follow-up question, either the person who sent me the question gives me a follow-up question to ask, or I'm thinking, what would people viewing this want to know in addition? I'm an interrupter. We're Jews. Jews and Arabs are what they call, I think it's called collaborative or cooperative overlapping. We interrupt each other. That is the way it is. I know people in Western Europe and in North America don't interrupt. It's considered rude. Here it is actually considered, Israelis mostly, and Palestinians to some extent, lesser so because they have a much more polite society. I think it's absolutely okay to do it. I have seen Palestinians do it. I have seen Israelis do it. People do this all the time. Additionally, people will love to speak in slogans here, both Israelis and Palestinians, and I've heard the slogans a million times. Most of you who've been watching my channel for a while have also heard these slogans a million times. If someone starts going on about something that I know where they're going with it, I will interrupt and say, okay, but can we move back to the question? It's to keep them on track. It takes me a really long time to make these videos because I want to do it as geographically diverse as possible, even though it doesn't make that much of a difference asking someone in Tel Aviv or asking someone in Ramallah or asking someone in the rural areas. It doesn't make that much of a difference, but because people will claim you didn't go all over Palestine, you didn't go all over Israel, so I go to places and I ask one or two of the same question in each place. So I carry a list of questions with me, something like this, an entire list, and I ask one or two people in each place. To be able to do something which is very topical, I would have to go out to one place, maybe two, and ask them really, really quickly and then edit it and add subtitles. It just doesn't work. Also, within 2 to 3 weeks, nobody remembers. So I don't do that. Almost all of my questions are about things that are going on for the long term. So in 10 years, they'll be just as topical as they are today. The Ask Project is meant to be the opposite of propaganda. I don't give my opinion. I almost never give my opinion, not through the questions, because they're not my questions, and not through the follow-up questions, because often I don't even agree with myself while I'm saying it. The idea is to get a slice of each society, 8 to 10 people, giving their opinion. That's not propaganda. Propaganda is only giving the answers that the person watching wants to hear. The idea is to see how common is a belief in each society. So you see 8 to 10 people, you get an idea. It doesn't mean you understand everything about their society, it means you get an idea of what they think about that particular topic. I have no idea if they're telling the truth. On the Palestinian side specifically, they are thinking, I assume, what their family will think, what the Israeli authorities will think, what the Palestinian authorities will think, and then that might get them into trouble with their family first, and then with the different authorities. So they may not be saying what they truly think. I don't know. All I can do is ask people their opinions and hope that what they're telling me is the truth. People don't know the questions before. I'm just getting their initial emotional reaction to something. So that's what they're thinking emotionally. Is it their absolute truth? I have no idea. All I can do is ask the question authentically and hope that they come up with a good answer. Okay, I get this a lot. So the issue is, I speak Hebrew, I don't speak Arabic. With Israelis, I can kibitz, I can play, I can do the shtick. I am better at that. Also, in Israeli culture, you're allowed to have that sense of playfulness when you're interviewing someone. It's absolutely allowed. With Palestinians, I don't speak Arabic. I'm going through a translator, and there's also many more taboos in Palestinian society that I'm not allowed to break. I cannot challenge certain things in Palestinian society because I risk being hurt, or my translator risks being hurt in some way at that moment. So there is a bit of a difference. I try to ask them in the same way, and I try to treat them in exactly the same way as much as possible. I never mistranslate on purpose. That has never happened, ever. My goal is actually to have the most accurate information for you, the viewer, to be able to see. If there are mistranslations, and there have been, it's because my Hebrew is not that great in the earlier videos. In later videos, I have Israelis who quality assure the videos, they go through them, and they make sure that I'm translating properly. If there is a mistake, then I try to correct it in the closed captions of the video. Now, when it comes to the Arabic, I have a translator who does her best to translate. It is hard to simultaneously translate anything. Sometimes she's a little off. She does, or he or she, depending on who's translating, will go through the video after to make sure it is correct as much as possible. Obviously, there are mistakes. The mistakes that have been brought to my attention are small differences in Arabic or in Hebrew, not major differences. So people who are picking on this are usually just being too picky. Okay, I do not read the comments. I don't know what you're talking about. It's not me. Speak to Mr. YouTube. Write the heads of YouTube to ask why the comments are being left out. Yes, I know there is a page I can go to that some comments are held. I don't go into them. I don't care. I allow all comments. I think comments are stupid. If your comments are not showing up, it has something to do with the algorithm, nothing to do with me.
Can I give you the actual explanation if you want to relate to them? There's parameters that YouTube have set to filter certain words, and we as creators, we have no control over it. I get that comment all the time. That people are like, you're deleting my comments. I never delete comments, ever. Unless it's like a doxing, like where they put an address of somebody in there, that's when I'll delete it.
People do that?
Sometimes,
That's crazy.
Yeah, or like a direct threat of death or something like that, most likely I'll delete it.
All right.
But yeah, like we as creators, we don't have control over that stuff.
We as creators have no control over this. Sorry, speak to the YouTube people. Okay, the translator often, yes, cuts me off often. I love it. I think it's hilarious. It shows great banter. Normally, I know the translator you're referring to, it's to keep me safe. There are things in Palestinian society which are very taboo to say, and she is assuming I could get into a lot of trouble. She could get into a lot of trouble if we say the wrong things to the wrong person. I always keep that in on purpose because I want to show what things are considered taboo in Palestinian society. Also, I have a big mouth. I say inappropriate things all the time. I will say inappropriate things to people directly, not thinking that there's something wrong with it. And I've often had been slapped upside the head, literally, by people in the Palestinian areas. In Israel, I will just do it myself and get into trouble because there's nothing they can do to me. In the Palestinian territories, I have to be a lot more careful. So, okay, I don't know how to answer this one. For the anti-Zionist, I am an absolute Zionist. All you people who are like, think Zionism is evil, you don't understand what Zionism is. For the very, very Zionist Jews, I'm not much of a Zionist. So it kind of depends on how you're defining Zionist. I believe Israel exists. It is a state. It's a state set up for the Jews. I think everyone should be equal here. Arabs, Jews, Palestinians, everyone should be equal here, wherever that is and whatever its borders are. That I don't care about. I am not doing anything on purpose to make the Jews look bad, to make the Arabs look bad, to make the Palestinians look bad. I know that if I want this channel to be taken seriously, I have to include everything that is filmed. And if somebody, Israeli or Jewish or Palestinian or Muslim, says something awful on video, like these people who just make a lot of noise and they know you're filming, awful, I have to include it. Everything has to be included. So yeah, sometimes that includes when Israelis say terrible things. I wish I was paid by anyone. I will take money from Hezbollah. I will take money from Iran. I will take money from the Israeli government. No one has ever paid, other than you, the viewers, no organization, no pro-Israel organization has ever given me a cent. And I'm a little bitter because a lot of people have actually come to Israel and the West Bank because of my videos. The Israeli Ministry of Tourism owes me some money. They are not paying. If anyone has any connections, I'm going right to the top with you guys. I want to speak to the Minister of Tourism. I want my money. I got nothing. The only time I ever get money is from you guys, the viewers. You can donate on PayPal. You can donate on Patreon. It allows me to be able to go to these places and to ask these questions. That's the only thing that allows me to do it. No one, no organization, no country, no movement is funding this other than you, the viewer.